Bezat Hashem, we're back at the Limud and Mishnah Berurah. We're stuck in the middle of the first Siman, where we're Baruch Hashem. Today is, by the way, is the night of the second of month of Kislev, which is a Monday night going into Tuesday, the third day of the week of Parashat Shabbat Vayetze. Bezat Hashem. So we're discussing. Question is, when is it you are forced to start or Mincha? Were you allowed to? So yesterday we discussed that according to Rambam and Riv, and according to most, again, those are the pillars of the Shulchan Aruch, and the Shulchan Aruch himself is telling you, if you started after 6:30, it's okay. But most prominent time for the start of Mincha is like we do here, like most Sephardi shuls do, which is 9.5 hours, or at least after Plag Mincha. Okay, but at least not before Mincha Ktana. That's what most of Sephardim, and one rabbi over here in Florida is actually making fun of all the yeshivas. He's degrading them. How dare them? Right? They took the loshon. If Mishnah Berurah, it's even the Mishnah Berurah tells you it's not. What's his name? It's not the best thing to do to daven blag mincha gdola. But so he's like, I don't understand. Oh, yeah, okay, listen. Yesh Baruch Hashem, in the yeshiva, Olam HaYeshivot, they're not machmir on this and not makpid on this, as like we said, because one of the most prominent reasons could be, we were suggested yesterday, we said in Tishmaya, that l'choira, because of the limud that occurs, right, at the time, that's called the second part of the day, in the winter times, it's called kiyut. It's not be'iyun. The difference between the two types of learning is that the second seder, the afternoon learning, they go through, they just go through Gimarot as much as possible. Some throw in Tosafot, but they don't go deep into the iyun of Ritva and Rashba and all this. So because it goes too fast, maybe we said that they daven mincha earlier, so not to interrupt the flow. Yeah, okay. So that maybe that's the reason why the yeshivot. But as you see that most till now we're learning. Yesterday we ended off in this, that if somebody wants to daven early mincha, by mincha gdola, it's only going to be allowed in the instance where there is no choice, like traveling, that you might not have a minyan later or whatever. So now we are back in Seif Katan Bet, umechetze ulmala yatsa, right? What is that? That somebody read from here's the language of the Shulchan Aruch is for sure means b'diavad. It doesn't mean lechatchila. So it explains the Mishnah Berurah. Mashma demikodem lachen lo yatsa afilu diavad. Here that's what Mishnah Berurah points out, that if you wanted to daven at 12:10 today, it's already after chatzot. L'choira, you're already after midday. What would be the problem? The guy doesn't have time to wait till half hour. Right after Chatzot, which is already midday, It's a midday break. We know that it's already, the sun is starting to go down, right? From the midday point. So l'choira, let me daven mincha, I have no choice. Says Mishnah Berurah, even b'diavad, you're not yotzeh.
Wow. You don't fulfill.
You have not fulfilled the mitzvah, yeah. Ken katav Magen Abraham b'derech hachayim b'Birkei Yosef. So he brings you all the Magen Abraham, בדרך חיים אין ברכי יוסף, ויש מהאחרונים דסבירו להוא דאב לדרכתחילה אסור להתפלל קודם שנשלם החצי שעה אחר הצות. So he brings down Mishnah Berurah over here. He says some, however, say it's actually avera, bרכות לבטלה. You're not allowed to daven mincha until half an hour lapses. מכל מקום, says however,
half an hour after chatzot.
If the half hour didn't lapse after chatzot, it's avera, he says, אסור. מכל מקום, בדיעבד שהתפלל בזה החצי שעה, לא התפלל שנית. However, says the Mishnah Berurah, that if let's say you went ahead and davened, the guy is saying, you know what, I'm going to go on a submarine, I don't know what, it's going to be impossible. I'm in a boat, determining the whole thing, they're going to put the guy to sleep, I don't know, they're going to put the guy in operation, he's going into operation, this is the best scenario. People today are very primitive. They called on televisions, and when we were growing up, they're telling us that the people from 100, 200 years ago were primitive. Right? Yeah. We are the most primitive people in the world. They tell a guy, here comes out the doctor on television. You're a perfectly healthy person. Why? You reached the age of 40 and you did not have a colonoscopy yet? We're such a primitive people. They're forcing everybody to get a colonoscopy at 40 and up. Every year you have to go for it. So So the doctor in the hospital at NYU, they say, listen, mister, you have an appointment, 12:05, we're going to put you to sleep. You ever had, what's his name? They put you to sleep ever? They did. I had an appendix removed. They put me to sleep. And that's exactly approximate time that they put you to sleep, right before lunch break. They put you to sleep before lunch. Chatzot time.
Did you pray Mincha?
No. All right, I don't even know if I davened shacharit b'chlal. It was danger. You know what an appendix is?
Yeah.
It was a virtual blowing up. They took me out. Whatever. Don't ask. One hospital diagnosed it as kidney stones. Okay, and then I go home, and I was suffering on Shabbat, like I was. So Thursday afternoon, I get a phone call from my doctor. The hospital said emergency. Avram, you have to run back to the hospital. There's a procedure. All right. So listen to this. This is the worst avla in the world, right? You think the health insurance is going to protect you, right? So I was there the whole Shabbos that day, right before Sunday, before I got that phone call for them to misdiagnose me. They got paid $7,000 for me just being in the hospital for 12 hours, laying in bed until they come to the degree to realize that, oh, it's a kidney stone, go home. I said, okay.
Wow.
Listen. I got a phone call, emergency, run to the hospital. So I went to NYU Langun. Instantly, right, I told them the phone call I got. Right away, boom, they got me there. The more money, emergency operation, right? Till today, I think NYU didn't get paid from my insurance company. This guy's Rashaim over there misdiagnosed me. I got a printout, the bill. Yeah. So what was the excuse? The excuse they used to NYU, the medical insurance, you should have, the prognosis was not 100%. You didn't follow steps. You didn't follow steps to get insurance money. So they got zero. The guys who saved my life got zero. The guys who were torturing me, almost killed me, they got over $7,000, just like that. This is a reshut. Anyway, so what? They put you to sleep. The guy is being put to sleep. He knows he's being to sleep. They're going to put him to sleep. 12:35, he's going to be already sleeping. Today is what, 12:38? Mm-hmm. So he decides, you know what, I'm going to pray Mincha before I go to sleep. Especially with this craziness with the colonoscopy, they put you the person to sleep. You sign your life away. They say, if they kill you, it's not our fault. They sign. It's not our fault. And they put you to sleep right in the way. And that's it. So he wants to daven.
12:10.
12:10. He wants to daven 12:11. He knows he has a Z. They're going to put him to sleep at 12:30. Says, who knows? It took me to wake up. I remember after the operation, 2-3 hours, I was not even flying. I didn't know what was happening. I remember I was getting into the car at 6:30 p.m., right? So like at that time they started like 11:30, whatever it is. 6:30 I was, they pushed me. They said, start walking. You're not sleeping. After the operation, get out of the hospital. They threw me out of the hospital. Maybe like because they knew they're getting paid. Just get out of here. They loaded me in the car. I remember it was really nice. Finished. Mincha. I forgot the Mincha.
No, it was an outpatient procedure. Was it outpatient or inpatient? You didn't stay overnight.
Overnight, I did stay from last night, from Thursday, Sunday night, Monday morning. They did operation Monday night. I was already on the way home. Uh-huh. But anyway, so this is what happens. It says Mishnah Berurah, if you did daven Mincha because you're afraid, you are not obligated to daven second time anymore. So let's say if Arvit, I came to myself, I want to now daven Arvit twice, because now, let's say, all right? So maybe I will be obligated to daven Arvit twice, even though I did daven Mincha, let's say, right? Well, this says Mishnah Berurah, don't daven Mincha. You're patur. You're patur because you already did it before the completion of a half hour. That half hour we have to be waiting. Okay, let's see. Ish Matzliach is not so happy with this, looks like. Mm-hmm. So he says, number 2. עיין להקף החיים שכתב שכיוון שיש מחלוקת בזה הוא כבר התפלל, אין צריך לחזור ולהתפלל. איש מצליח over here brings כף החיים, who agrees with Mishnah Berurah, and he says, since you already davened at 12:11, right? There's a big machloket, and we know that we have, which is very strange. Typically Ashkenazim have zero problem with Sabal. They don't hold like us. We are very, very strict. Yeah. We have a strict rule about Safek Brachot Lechaken. Ashkenazim don't. If the minhag is yadua, they have a minhag to say bracha, they'll say bracha. They don't care what any rabbi and any prominent posek argues. That's the way they are. So here, Kaf HaChaim says, so he sides right away with Mishnah Berurah, because it's a strange thing itself. Mishnah Berurah should side, unless there are no poskim of Ashkenazim that say it, that you should daven again. Ayan Sham. ולעניות דעתנו נכון לחזור ולהתפלל בתנאי נדבה. איש מצליח says, I don't care what Kaf HaChaim.
This is if you daven after 6 hours, but
12:11.
6.5.
Right. Today is 12:10 is Chatzot. 12:11 he davens. Right. It's already after Chatzot. So says Ish Matzliach, with all due respect to Kaf HaChaim, you should daven mincha as a gift, a nedava. And you say to Hashem, I'm doing a nedava, just to, because of the pikpuk. Because we have such a thing, nedava, right? You want to give a gift, you daven as a
That's
remember.
if you made a mistake, if you didn't know.
No. You daven on purpose. You said
daven on purpose.
12:11. You daven because you were, let's say, you're speculated that you're not gonna wake up from the anesthesia. Okay. All of a sudden you woke up, and they woke you up at 4 o'clock. Your wife is dropping you off at the shul. Ha, habibi, I was spending with you enough time. Go to shul. Go spend some time with the rabbi to learn Torah. And all of a sudden, he's before mincha. He comes over here at 5:15. Says Ish Matzliach, he should daven with the minyan. But have in mind, he's giving a gift, a prayer. Maybe it's patur. It's not a problem.
What's this?
Even though he already prayed.
Yeah. Oh,
Too early.
well, we should go back to Siman 119. You'll see over there. It's a Gemara in Masechet Brachot that says, Rabbi Yochanan, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Uleva yitpalel adam kol hayom kulo. You should daven 18 the whole day, 1,000 times. You know, there's a shul. Remember that shul, no?
You can daven.
You know that shul. I asked Idol. You know Idol Feldman. I say Idol. The Shomer, what's his name?
Base Mordechai.
No, Landau's.
Ah.
Landau's. I say, Ido, you know the Shamash, no? He's there the whole day. 73 minyanim, I think just in the morning, no? Something like that. 73 shacharit minyanim. I don't know what's going on there. And he goes, from which minyan? I say, Ido, did you mikayem this Shulchan Aruch? If you walk in, Shulchan Aruch says clearly, if you walk into the shul and they're davening Shmoneh Esrei, or they're about to start with them. The whole day. You could start. You could daven Shmoneh Esrei. Oh yeah. That's a, no. There's a no. So
we just said it's asur.
Okay, I got you.
Between 6 and
Betor
6.5.
chova. The Gemara says if you start praying second time by mistake, you thought that you're obligated to pray. If you thought you're obligated to pray, interrupt your prayer. You don't have to stop it. Because you made a mistake. You could stop the prayer wherever. It's not bracha. You're not, what's his name? You should say Baruch Shem Kod Mochotor Olam Vayit. You made a mistake. If you mistakenly started, but if you started lechatchila, I want to praise Hashem. The Gemara says it gives you a condition over there. You should have some concentrate on a little part of the Shmoneh Esrei differently every time. Concentrate more. Like you say Magen Avraham Hashem Hev Rahmanut on all the Jews, right? Then you're gonna have Michayim Etim on the next Shmoneh Esrei differently. Now, every time you think of something else, that's the heter. But it's nedava. So here it says Ish Matzliach. Habibi, you daven not the right time. We have a problem with you. There's a lot of poskim that say you're obligated to daven. That's a poskim. So if because of that, do the nedava and chalas, you finish. You say all the deot. That's Ish Matzliach. He's not happy with Kaf HaChaim.
And when you do that gift, you say like a
nedava. I'm praying like a nedava. Yes, I'm doing a nedava.
Kind of like a L'Shem Yehud.
No L'Shem Yehud. They say Hashem, I'm davening the nedava. As long as you know you're not davening L'Shem Chiyuv. Right now we daven mincha in Arvit. We all daven. I mean, I didn't daven Arvit, but you guys, our shul, we want money down there. But again, so you know that you're davening L'Shem Chiyuv. You're davening because you're obligated to daven mincha. That's normal. But if you're making a mistake, you daven. Sometimes many times that happens. A person was at work. They davened the early mincha. Right? They called the minyan. Somebody needed to say kaddish. The guy works in the flea market, and they said out of the blue, they said they didn't need to daven because otherwise he's going to miss the kaddish for his relative. Right? So everybody came in. All of a sudden, he comes to shul and he doesn't remember, and then he started remembering in the middle of Shmoneh Esrei. Wait a minute! Didn't I daven with this guy? Stop the prayer right now. Stop the prayer. Don't have to back out. Don't have to say shalom. Nothing. Stop the prayer. Baruch Shem Kod Mochotor Olam Vayit. Halas. Okay. Let's continue. Mishnah Berurah.
What's the significance? What's the importance of that 30 minutes? It's already after half day.
Good. So you're here. That's why you're here, Habibi. Wow. Good question. Veda. The Mash Katav Ad Halayla LeRabanan לאו דווקא, דהה לערך רבע שעה קודם צאת הכוכבים, לכל העלמין בכלל בין השמשות הוא, כדי לקמן בסימן. So again, להתפלל מנחה אז. So, okay, so he's not answering your question yet. I thought we answered that before. He had the korban was shechted at Chatzot, but they had to wait till 12:30 to bring the blood on the Mizbeach.
Until 6.5 hours.
Yeah. The half hour, that half hour, the had to bring the korban. The korban was the first time that you're allowed to bring it.
Complete.
Meaning you could check it after 12 o'clock, but you cannot actually technically bring it on the Mizbeach until 12:30. Okay? And then, but again, it was allowed to be nimshach. It was allowed to be stretched.
Or in this case,
you weren't here yesterday. Till
12:40.
12:40 or till 3:30, like we said the other day. What is it? About 3:30.
What, the earliest Mincha?
No, the 9.5 hours. Till 9.5 hours of the day. כדרקמן בסימן רשע, ואין להתפלל מנחה אז. Oh, so it says, what about, בדעת מה שכתב עד הלילה לרבנן, Shulchan Aruch says you could pray mincha until the nightfall. What does that mean?
It's earlier now.
Lav davke, it doesn't mean till nightfall. I'm in the fourth line from the bottom, the zayin, small little zayin there. Lav davke, it doesn't mean that you should daven until nightfall. דהה לערך רבע שעה קודם צאת הכוכבים, לכול העלמא. It means that 15 minutes before the stars come out. That's when you, up to that moment, you're allowed to pray mincha.
15?
בכלל בין השמשות הוא, then you could pray mincha in that time, in between the twilights. כדי לקבן בסימן רש סמך א'.
15 minutes before the stars come out.
The stars come out, yeah, before the stars come out.
What time is that today?
That'll be
Okay.
the 3 stars, 6:05 over here?
No, we have to understand, we cannot take for granted Mishnah Berurah just as it's word, because remember, we're in different time zones. Here, Florida, I think it's like
3 stars, 6:05.
It's about half an hour.
6:05, so that's about 36
Pure
minutes.
nightfall, 6:40.
That's again 36 minutes after Shkia. In New York, you cannot get, nobody's going to agree that before 45 minutes after Shkia because of the length of the sun disappearing from vision. So it could be in Russia they had 15 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, the higher.
In Israel it's 13 minutes. In Eretz Israel it's 13 minutes before you could no longer see the sun.
18 minutes.
No, in Israel it's 13 minutes always.
Shkia? Wait, 1 second.
Shkia till Netzet Kochavim, 13 minutes. Literally, you could look on this side of the sky. It's all still light, and the other side is already stars coming out. I was Bat Yam one time. I was like, finishing Shabbat.
But the latitude longitude is similar in Florida to no? Sort of,
No. You see that it's not. Over here, it's 36 minutes. We're far away even from New York. It's 45 minutes, the earliest time. The Ben Hashmashot. Okay, so I don't know what he's saying over here. 50 minutes. ואין להתפלל מנחה אז. You cannot pray mincha once you reach at least 15 minutes before צאת הכוכבים. Okay, that's just לכולם, and that will be now. One second, איש מצליח, עיין בעמוד הבא. We'll actually discuss over there in Ha'ara number 1 more detail. You see, remember, now we're getting to the juicy parts. So איש מצליח tells us we'll discuss this later. Okay, Gimel, Sif Katan Gimel goes on שהוא עד סוף 11 שעות. So what is Plag HaMincha? שהוא עד סוף, it's talking about until the end of 10 hours and 45 minutes, we said, right? So you have 9.5 hours from sunrise, and that starts Mincha Ktana, until Plag HaMincha is when you should, עד הלילה רבנן. Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Yehuda, so Rabbanan, it's 15 minutes before Tzedek HaKochavim. Rabbi Yehuda, it's hour and a quarter before Shkiya B'chlal. You hear? It's according to Rabbi Yehuda. That's when you're allowed to have Mincha. So now, this is juicy. Gentlemen, let's not break. Yeah, you guys ready to take it with me? Let's go. שזמן מנחה קטנה הוא 2 שעות ומחצי. So the rule is, מנחה קטנה starts 2.5 hours before השקיעה. דהלא הוא 9 שעות ומחצי עד סוף של 12 שעות. It's 9.5 hours. נמצא, if you see here, דפלג המנחה הוא שעה שלמה ועוד רביעייה. So it's פלג המנחה. So if you have 2.5 hours is mincha ktana, plug in Hebrew in Aramaic means palga yoma, half a shah, half of that of 2.5 will be hour and a quarter. Okay, Dalet. So Dalet is.
So let's just review that.
That what? According to Rabbi Yehuda, so again, Rabbanan said you should daven 15 minutes before nightfall, before Tzedek HaKochavim, right? Mincha, all the way after even Shkia. You could daven Mincha until in the middle of Ben Hashmashot. And that's what we do. That's our minhag over here. there is a big machlok. This was going to be a big issue on Friday night when the baby is born. Ben Hashmashot, when to do the brit or not. Okay? A lot of people here, I believe they're making a big mistake. But there's a lot of rabbis, including my Rosh Yeshiva, he went with the rabbis to be lenient. No, it's not so pashut. Right? Because we just said, in New York it's 45 minutes, here it's 36 minutes. So they're already, all the people are matirim to do Brit Milah on Shabbat if the baby is born 20 minutes after. And they're telling you, this is, everybody agrees with that. I don't see why.
20 minutes after Shkia?
After Shkia, yeah. I don't see a reason why it's allowed.
So Friday night, Erev Shabbat.
Yes.
20 minutes after
Shkia, most poskim of this generation agreed that to do Brit Milah on Shabbat. I have a big problem with that, according to what we're learning. According to the books, it's a big problem. And again, if it was not Chilul Shabbat...
Okay, so what are they following? They go
because of Ravadia, Paskin, and most of the poskim, they agree that the 20 minutes is already nightfall. But you see over here, Shulchan Aruch is telling you. Even Mishnah Berurah is telling you. 15 minutes, I'm sure in Radin, if you take a look, the sunset was longer. Mustama, it's the same thing as Europe. And sometimes, you know how long does it take in England, the sunset? After sunset until nightfall is hours sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not so pashut. So again, I have a serious problem with that. I have zero understanding. Now, that's why I wouldn't paskin. If somebody comes to me, I say, go to a rabbi who will give you.
Maybe it has to do with the,
but it's a big problem.
The community accepting Shabbat?
It doesn't matter. It's not Shabbat. It has to be Shabbat to do Brit Milah on Shabbat. You're going into Safek Doraita. That's not a simple thing. It's not a simple thing.
Milah is also the
Right,
right.
but obviously the Safek of Brit Milah, Safek Yom is not going to be Doiche Vadai Yisur Shabbat. It's a Safek of Yisur Doraita. You know what I'm saying? It's not Poshet Doraita. Not a simple thing. Safek. That's why the way I remember many write. No, Brit Milah on Sunday. Chalas. No, there's no questions asked. What's the question? We had a big machlokot about this in Queens. I remember. Of course, yeah. If the baby is born Ben Hashmashot on Friday, you do Brit Milah on Sunday, of course, because of the Safek. Yeah. So on Sunday, nobody disagrees. Everybody agrees it's Sunday. It's already for sure after the 8th day, because before the 8th day, you're not allowed to. Friday you cannot do because maybe it was baby born on Shabbos. Shabbos you cannot do maybe the baby was born on Friday. It's Isur Doraita. So you do on Sunday without a problem. Okay. Okay. So Haggah, so remember that question we had on Haggah. Number 4, Dalet over here. Sifkat Dalet. Remember the whole, why the Haggah had to wait to tell us the Shraud Zmaniot concept till all the way to Siman 233. I don't know. Let's see. This whole calculation, says Mr. Berurah, that we're making in reference to the prayer, Ben lemincha gdola, ben lemincha ktana, it's regardless for mincha gdola or ktana, uplaga mincha, or even the half a mincha, the chashbina b'shot hayom. It's all calculated according to each day, right? Now, there was a clown, joker, says only the Jewish calendar has seconds on it. Only the Jewish holiday, right? Jewish calendar. Yeah, we have seconds on it. What are you going to do?
It's true.
בחלקינן, היום בין ארוך בין קצר ל-12 חלקים. You divide it, whether it's a long day, whether it's a short day, always divide the split into 12. בכל חלק נקרא שעה. And each section of the 12 is considered to be its hour. In the winter, it could be 40 minutes an hour. In the summer, it could be hour and 15 minutes an hour. ועל פי שעות אלו קבעינן זמן מנחה ולכל הנזכר לאל. That according to these hours, we will be setting a time for mincha according to everybody. ושיעור 12 שעות, היום דמשרינן בו, the calculation of the 12 hours day that we are calculating, יש מחלוקת, even that there is a setback. יש מחלוקת בין הפוסקים, what is the setback? יש אומרים דחשיבינן מעמוד השחר, עד צאת הכוכבים. Some have a calculation, here this is the longest, from Amud HaShachar till Tzedek Kochavim. That's a very long day. It could be 20 hours actually. You could technically have in the summer 20 hours, the whole day, according to these people. וממילא לרבי יהודה מותר להתפלל מנחה עד שעה ורביע קודם צאת הכוכבים. So it sounds like how you have that. says, according to Rabbi Yehuda, they will be allowed to pray mincha at sha'a or reviya kodem tzet kochavim, that you will be able to daven hour and quarter before the nightfall, before stars come out. Ulirabanan ad alayla. It sounds like you could daven mincha literally until nightfall, until that hour. You could pray mincha mamash till that hour, until we declare it's night. Okay? כנזכר להם בסעיף קטן ב', as we already discussed. וכך סתם המחבר בסימן זה ולכמן בסימן תמ"ג. So over here the מחבר is not to give us clear outline, but we'll get to Siman 443, there will be a clear cut what he wants. ויש אומרים, guys, are you looking inside? What am I reading? Let's go inside Mishnah Berurah. ויש אומרים, you there with me? ויש אומרים, it's right in the smack in the middle. Yeah. We're Dalet.
No, you're Dalet, but the little tet in the parentheses.
It will be three. It will be one line above Yud, the small Yud in parentheses. V'yesh omrim, you there?
Oh, okay, yeah.
V'yesh omrim, one line up. You see the Yud? You see the small Yud? Okay. דחשבינן 12 שעות מהנצח המה עד שקיעתה. This is what we do, right? That we calculate from the sunrise and until the sunset. Again, the Sephardim, by the way, we are noteh. The Magen Avraham goes with Amud HaShachar until Tzedek Kochavim. Okay, and the problem why I say Sephardim, I have a problem with that because the way that the schedule works out, the calculation. If you take a look, Amud HaShachar and Tzedek Kochavim. Depending on what? Depending on what you calculate the hour to be, because you have to subtract. Where is Amud HaShachar? We don't know. Amud HaShachar is a big machloket in itself, because in reality you don't know when the sun rises, when the sun breaks, when the sun daylight is. You know for sure. One thing is for certain: we know when the sun rises and when the sun sets, because that's a reality. You can't argue. Go set, you could see it. So now the problem is, when is Amud HaShachar, when is Tzedek Kochavim? You calculate it. Automatically, you must calculate it. So I have a problem, I have a little beef with this. Those that hold to calculate from Amud HaShachar and Tzedek Kochavim, I don't understand how you do it. How can you, and that's not me, by the way, old Ashkenazi poskim saying this question at Sephardi poskim. How do you come to a realization if you're going to calculate from Amud HaShachar to Tzedek Kochavim?
We know how to calculate.
You can't.
You take the night,
it's impossible. Again, it's impossible.
Why can't you take the night?
Because it doesn't work like that. Because what's happening is
1 hour before?
No. Again, listen to the problem here. The problem is like this. We don't know when is Amud HaShachar, and we don't know what Tzedek Kochavim is. We don't know because it's not like you could realize it somehow. It's a calculated matter. Those two things that I just told you are calculated. It's an outcome of your calculations. Right? But Netzach Hama and Shkiyat Hama, without a doubt, we all know what it is. Without a doubt. Even though in Eretz Israel and Yerushalayim, by the Kotel, there's 7 different times, by the way, when the sunrise. If you pray there for this, don't pray there. Yeah, don't pray in the Kotel. If you got to Israel, don't say, I'm going to daven nets in the Kotel. If you want to daven nets in the Kotel, go inside. Don't daven outside. If you're daven outside, and if you want a person, obviously, if the person doesn't care about his kavanah, then it's okay to daven outside.
30 seconds.
Within 30 seconds, you have different opinions. It's crazy.
Within 30 seconds, you're with the
yeah, but it's crazy. You want to daven already. Everyone, this one is screaming, that one is screaming. So the machloket over there is a machloket. Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael Chai. We're living. The question, the problem is, how do you get to the Amud HaShachar and how do you get to the nightfall? And you calculate the whole days. That doesn't make sense. That's what most Ashkenazi poskim argue on the Sephardi poskim. What are you doing? How is that possible? What's your calculation?
What's the answer?
I don't know. So look at your calendar. Look at your calendar. I'm just there to throw fire. Throw coal into the wood into the fire, Habibi. It's a big problem. We follow, most of us follow today Ashkenazi calendar.
But in general.
Yeah, but Syrians, they'll kill you. Rabbi Yosef. No. The chief rabbi. No, the chief rabbi of the Syrian community in New York and all over, Rabbi Kassin. I believe Rabbi Yosef, not sure, Rabbi Yosef Raful. He said in his calendar, we follow Magen Avraham. I don't care how you do it. Again, and yeah, Raful is Syrian, of course. Raful. That's Rabbi Yosef Raful is Tere Torah. No, Rosh Yeshiva of Tere Torah. He's the chief rabbi now of all the Syrians. He publishes the calendar. Remember the calendar, the Netzach Haba calendar, with the rabbi was there that they give out millions of those for free. Okay, that one is Magen Avraham, and their Chatzot, by the way, is a little bit earlier than the Chatzot that we follow. Their Chatzot is actually earlier, so there will be a problem when you don't start davening Mincha. Another problem.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a lot of machlokot. Yeah. Let's continue. דחשבין על 12 שעות מהנץ החמה עד שקיעת החמה, עד שקיעתה. This is it. This is what prevalent. That's most Ashkenazim and most calendars today follow this. Like I said, the Sephardim, they're making a lot of noise about it right now. And calculations, Baruch Hashem.
In general, what's the number? For Alot Shachar, it's 1 hour.
75, 1 hour and 15, 72 minutes actually.
72 minutes?
72 minutes after, before net, 72 minutes is Alot Shachar.
So it's set.
72, it's flat. By Ashkenazim, it's flat.
5:39 in Hollywood. Dawn.
Yeah.
Alot Shachar. Early Talita 56.
Yeah, 5:39. One second.
Sunrise.
What time is sunrise? 6:52.
6:51.
6:51. 72 minutes always. It's a simple math without any machlokot, without any problems. Go to Sfaradim, Hashem Merachem. You have to calculate that. The whole big balagan over there. When is Avodah Shachar? It's not 72 minutes. It's not flat. It's Shawot Azbaniot. But how do you get to the Shawot Azbaniot? What are you talking about? So Ashkenazim have it a little bit more simpler. And by the way, it's relaxes a person. I don't know. I grew up in the yeshiva. That's how we follow. But whatever. I'm not gonna tell the people that follow like Rabbi Raful. We're gonna say no. We're gonna say no. Okay, the Dows. I'm not. If let's say they decide to daven mincha earlier, I go to Ashkenazi. I go to Ashkenazi daven mincha later without any problems. No questions asked. I like to deviate away from a machlokot. Finished. אוקיי, הוא אומר על רבי יהודה, אינו מותר להתפלל מנחה רק עד שעה ורביעייה קודם השקיעה, ולרבנן עד השקיעה. So, what is going on here? הוא אומר, if you see from here, לרבי יהודה אינו מותר להתפלל מנחה, רק עד שעה ורביעייה קודם השקיעה. So, according to רבי יהודה, when you have to stop praying mincha, you must stop praying mincha at 10 hours and 45 minutes. Remember, he holds from that time, it's already Arvit time. You supposed to daven Arvit, u'lerabanan at hashkiya, and according to everybody, Rabbanan, and we're going to end over here because time is pressing. But Rabbanan is what you have to daven until shkiya. This is according to everybody. You will be no problems at all, right? Even though, so what we do here, sometimes we daven mincha, 5 minutes before shkiya, 3 minutes today, 3 minutes before shkiya, right? And then we have to do chazara after. So we have, there's going to be, maybe we'll learn the allowance for that. Look at the Matzliach number 4 quickly before we end. There's number 4 there. What do you want me to do? Zar, what do you want me to say? No, we don't look in there. ונהגו להקל לחשב מהנצח עד השקיעה לעניין תפילת ומצוות דרבנן. So now Ish Matzliach is meyashev us. Look at this. I threw at you some fire. Ish Matzliach is a poisik of Sefaradim, and he's giving us, I didn't know I was mechaven to him. He says like this, the custom is, we are accustomed to the whole world today to calculate from netz until shkia. Anything that has to do with Rabbanan, we are, because it's the more prominent. Matzliach Shama, so Ish Matzliach, Shilu Teshuvot Ish Matzliach, brings it down. V'ayen od b'tshuvat Maran Rosh HaYeshiva b'Yarchon Or Torah, he brings it over there. Ayen Sham. Now we understand why a lot of Sfaradim are fighting with him.
I didn't get it.
He says, today it's if it's the Rabbanan in Yanim, since it's not the Oraita, you could be somech on discounting. And again, this is his problem. The problem is because Ashkenazim have a valid point. How can you calculate from something that is the only way you could get to it is by calculation? It's not set stone. It's not carved out. Netzach Hama, sunrise is carved out. The Shkia is carved out. There is no question about those things.
Meaning you can physically prove it.
Yes, but the calculation of Amud HaShachar and calculation of stars coming out, that's a calculation. So you see, Baruch Shekivanti, I didn't even know that Ish Matzliach is on my side. Baruch Adonai Olam, amen, amen. Should be wonderful, should be blessed. Everybody, thank you for joining us.